It's 60 BC, deep in the royal chambers of Alexandria. Incense hangs heavy in the air. Cleopatra kneels upright, her face glistening with sweat as she grips the hands of her trusted attendants. 5 experienced women surround her, murmuring ancient words of strength. One kneels behind, ready to receive the heir to Egypt's last pharaoh. She is not lying helpless on her back. She stands defiant against pain, powerful, primal, aligned with gravity itself. For thousands of years across every civilization, this was how birth looked: upright, supported, and efficient. And then something changed. A king's desire and physician's convenience transformed the most natural act in human existence. But at what cost? The earliest illustration we have of childbirth dates back to around 60 to 70 BC. A bas-relief claimed to show Cleopatra giving birth while kneeling. She wasn't alone in this position. Throughout human history, women have birthed their children standing, squatting, kneeling, virtually any position except lying flat on their back. So, why did women stand to give birth for most of human history? The answer is surprisingly simple. This is because it works better. When a woman labors in an upright position, she uses one of the most fundamental forces in nature. I'm talking about gravity. This force helps pull the baby down through the birth canal, making each contraction more efficient. But that's just the beginning of the advantages. You might be thinking, if standing is so much better, why would we ever stop? Well, that's where our story takes an unexpected turn. Before we go into the not so genius reason why we stopped standing to give birth, let's understand what we lost when birthing positions changed. You see, when a woman squats during labor, something remarkable happens. The pelvis actually expands, increasing the size of the birth canal by up to 30%. This gives the baby more room to navigate the tight passage into the world. When a woman lies on her back, the full weight of her baby and the uterus compresses the major blood vessels that supply oxygen to both the mother, child, and the womb. It's like putting a kink in a garden hose. The pressure drops dramatically. Upright positions eliminate this problem entirely, ensuring maximum blood flow to the womb during labor. This increase in blood flow leads to shorter labor duration, less pain, and fewer complications. Women who give birth upright consistently report feeling more in control, experiencing less pain, and needing fewer medical interventions. So, what happened? How did we go from a birthing position that worked with our anatomy to one that works against it? The answer begins in the royal court of France in the 17th century with a king who had a very weird interest. I'm talking about King Louis XIV, who ruled France from 1643 until 1715. He enjoyed watching his mistresses give birth. Yes, you heard that correctly. The king himself would sit and observe the entire process from start to finish. I've seen weird fascinations before, but it kind of made me speechless. But there was a problem. When women gave birth in traditional upright positions, the king's view was obstructed. How inconvenient, right? So, what did King Louis do? He simply ordered his mistresses to lie flat on their backs so he could have a better view of the entire process. Pathetic. What started as one powerful man's preference soon spread throughout the French court. Other noblemen began to copy the practice. After all, if it was good enough for the king's mistresses, it must be fashionable, right? But the change wasn't just about royal whims. Around the same time, male physicians were beginning to replace female midwives in the birthing chambers, at least for wealthy women, and these doctors worked with their new tools like the forceps and other instruments designed to assist difficult deliveries. And guess what position made it easier for these male doctors to use their instruments? You guessed it right, women lying flat on their backs. By the 1800s, this position had spread throughout Europe and eventually to America. The traditional wisdom of midwives, accumulated over thousands of years, was dismissed as primitive and unscientific. But here's the irony. Modern science has now confirmed what ancient birth attendants always knew. Study after study shows that upright positions reduce labor time, decrease pain, lower the rate of assisted deliveries, and results in fewer complications. In fact, the World Health Organization now explicitly recommends that women should be encouraged to adopt positions they find most comfortable during labor, noting that lying on the back is often the least effective option. Some hospitals and birthing centers are now returning to these ancient practices. Birthing balls, squatting bars, and adjustable beds are becoming more common, allowing women to labor in upright positions as their ancestors did. Even though most parts of the world adopted the reclining birth position, many cultures around the world never abandoned these traditional practices. In parts of Africa, Asia, and indigenous communities worldwide, upright birth remained the norm, preserving knowledge that the Western world is only now rediscovering. So, why haven't we returned to upright birthing if it's so advantageous? The answer lies in medical tradition, hospital protocols, and simple force of habits. You see, many doctors were trained exclusively to deliver babies from women lying down on their backs, and changing established medical practice kind of takes time. There's also the issue of interventions like epidurals, which can limit mobility during labor. The good news is that change is happening. More women are becoming educated about their birthing options and requesting the freedom to move and find positions that work best for their bodies. Now, some modern birthing beds can be adjusted to support semi-upright positions, offering a compromise between the traditional and the contemporary method. What is clear is that when it comes to childbirth, sometimes the oldest ways are the best ways. Our bodies haven't fundamentally changed since Cleopatra's time. We are still designed to work with gravity, not against it. The story of how we went from standing to lying down to give birth isn't just a curiosity of medical history. It's a powerful reminder of how cultural practices can override biological wisdom. Sometimes, progress doesn't mean moving forward, but returning to what worked all along. Next time you see a depiction of childbirth in a movie or TV show, with a woman lying flat on her back in a hospital bed, remember that this wasn't always the way. For most of human history, women stood tall to bring new life into the world, and maybe in the not-so-distant future, they will again. So what do you think? Should we return to the birthing wisdom of our ancestors? Let me know in the comment section. And if you found this video interesting, don't forget to like and subscribe for more medical history that might just change how you see the world today. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next episode of Medical Time Machine. Bye!